I'm gonna give credit to where credit's due here. This is from Long-Haired Hippie Rebel, and he sent me just a plethora of examples where the weather is being modified and manipulated, and people know it is, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. So I'm going to play a couple of these things right here because I want this in just a nice, neat. Here, check this out. I had this queued up. I might as well go ahead and talk about what level of hell have we entered where our tax dollars are used to fund this vehicle equipped with a heat ray. That's active denial, by the way. It's millimeter wave technology. Guess what else is millimeter wave technology? It's a military grade weapon system on our street and on our light poles every 1,000 feet in major cities near you. A sound cannon to attack U.S. citizens on the streets of America. Give me a break. Shut the front door. All right, so I'm going to play a couple of these things right here because apparently a lot of people don't think, you know what, if there's climate change, I want to know, here's my question, who's causing it? What's the catalyst for this climate change? Who should we go to? Who's responsible for this? Here's the song they were playing back in the 1970s. Remember the term global cooling? Well, they had to change their tune on that. And then Al Gore started to get up there and trouncing around the country talking about global warming. Well, that had to change when it started cooling off. The global cooling had to change when it started warming up. And then they had to go to climate change. Yeah, they can't say anything about that because the climate's always changing. Now we can charge them for all those carbon credits, increase their taxes, and then people like Al Gore and Alyssa Milano don't have to take a step down. Everybody else can take a hit. They can live like a Sasquatch carbon footprints, and you got to live in your meager little ant carbon footprint. And if you go to beetle carbon footprint while they're maintaining their Sasquatch and blue whale carbon footprint in their life, well, you're the bad guy. Check this out for global cooling. This is what they used to say.
It's a quite new discovery for us that the Earth can turn so cold so fast. The problem is, will that happen again to us right now? Or could we accidentally provoke such a catastrophe?
Unless we learn otherwise, it will be prudent to suppose that the next ice age could begin to bite at any time.
In the 1970s, there was a big scare about global cooling. Climate experts were worried that we might be headed towards a new global ice age. Time magazine reported in...
Guys, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember when they talked about this. I mean, as a kid, you were a little concerned about global cooling. I lived closer up to the north in South Bend, Indiana, right on the line of Indiana and Michigan. And man, the lake effect snow that would come off there. Of course, as a kid, you're enjoying the snow. You're out on your sled. You're, getting rides around on snowmobiles, going down the inner tubes. And like, it's just a blast. It's like you're praying for snow so that you can have, we looked for, it was Channel 4, it was called the Snowbird Report. We would wait for the Snowbird Report. And it's like, if there was enough snow on the ground, and there had to be, in South Bend, Indiana, and in places like Michigan, there had to be a lot. It had to be blizzard conditions for you to get out of snow. Now, it's like, oh my God, there's 2 or 3 snowflakes out there. We have to shut the school down for 2 weeks. No, we didn't have that. It's like, it only snowed 8 inches last night. You're still going to school, kids, because we had the snow plows and they put all that salt and all that kind of stuff, all that garbage on the street. And yeah, come hell or high water, we were going to school. But I remember him talking about global cooling and being kind of concerned about, oh wow, we don't want to freeze in the summertime. This is going to be horrible.
1974 that, quote, the atmosphere has been growing gradually cooler for the past 3 decades. The trend shows no indication of reversing. And Newsweek warned ominously that the cooling...
No indication of reversing. What's the answer? You need to give buckets and buckets and boatloads of cash to politicians. Don't worry. You can trust them with it and they will help you. They will curb global cooling.
Trend could lead to a drastic decline in food production, resulting in widespread starvation.
According to Old Norse folklore, a summer that isn't summer at all, when the snow fails to melt, will signal the end of the world. Well, the new discoveries suggest that this myth is substantially correct.
So that's what they used to ram down your throat back then. Now, you have to admit, there are companies out there who actually specialize in geoengineering. I don't have them all lined up right here, but we have a couple of examples of geoengineering. News channels have covered this. We're going to deal with two weather channels where they actually show you with radar imagery that they show you that they have the technology to delete this from your view so that you can only see the quote-unquote natural weather, so that you don't see the adverse weather phenomenon that's being caused by said military. Check this one out right here.
There are 172 bills before the U.S. Senate right now calling for more weather modification programs. And while scientists say it's one way to reduce greenhouse gases, opponents say the consequences could be devastating.
All of these things change the growing cycles.
Peterson says altering the amount of sunlight that hits the earth will lead to damaged crops, dead and dying trees, and the disappearance of honeybees.
Then I think we're going to be in more trouble than ever before.
So is it a contrail or a conspiracy? No matter who or what you believe, thousands of people are left wondering, looking to the cloudy skies for an answer that is clear. Heidi Hemmett.
And before people start calling out, "Oh man, you are such a conspiracy theorist," look at this. This is what most social media outlets would call a top shelf authoritative source. This is Popular Science, and this was from March 20th, 2018. Let me just show you this real quick. Remember Operation Popeye? We're going to talk about Operation Popeye just for a little bit here. You can look it up for yourself later. But I'm not making Operation Popeye up. They did. With Operation Popeye, the U.S. government made weather an instrument of war. When? As geoengineering projects soar, the declassified project is newly relevant. This is from March 2018, and I'm going to show you this right here. This is from Popular Science, okay? We're not talking about from, this is not the Onion News. This isn't from True Pundit. This isn't from, Gateway Pundit or anything like that. This is from Popular Science, what YouTube and Facebook and Twitter would say is a top shelf authoritative source. It was a seasonably chilly afternoon in 1974 when Senators Claiborne Pell, a Democrat from Rhode Island, and Clifford Chase, a Republican from New Jersey, strode into the chambers of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations for a classified briefing. While the meeting was labeled top secret, the topic at hand was rather mundane. They were there to discuss the weather. More specifically, Pell, the chairman of the now defunct Subcommittee for Oceans and International Environment, and his colleague were about to learn the true extent of a secret 5-year-old cloud seeding operation meant to lengthen the monsoon season in Vietnam, destabilize the enemy, and allow the United States to win the war. Guys, we're talking about 1974 technology. We're talking about technology that's almost 50 years old. How have they honed their art and their weather modification craft since then? It's off the charts. And just to show you, you know, I know what you and I think about Wikipedia. You got to take it with a grain of salt, but it also is viewed as a top shelf authoritative source. And just check this out right here. Operation Popeye. What do you know? So we aren't the conspiracy theorists after all. Operation Popeye, Project Controlled Weather Popeye. It was a military cloud seeding operation carried out by the U.S. Air Force during Vietnam from 1967 to 72. The highly classified program attempted to extend the monsoon season, and a lot of people said they succeeded many, many times over specific areas in order to disrupt North Vietnamese military supplies by softening road surfaces and causing landslides. What do you think they do? Do you think they could cause, I don't know, a certain area to be arid? Like drying all the water up? Maybe bringing some lightning storms, some rainless clouds that bring lightning storms that cause lightning strikes. Maybe they have something called DEW, directed energy weapons, that can set certain places on fire. Do you think they have that kind of technology? I wonder. What about these derechos in the Midwest that has destroyed millions of acres of crops? We haven't even seen the supply line disruption for food yet. Have not even seen it yet. What about all these massive hurricanes that they keep bringing? If they took responsibility And they declassified a document called Operation Popeye. What other operations are out there? What about weather as a force multiplier, owning the weather by 2025 from the U.S. Air Force? Do you think that stuff is, hey, I don't know. I'm just asking, YouTube. I don't know. I'm not making any assertions, not making any accusations. I'm just asking questions. What the heck is going on here? Then you have videos like this right here, and they tell us that they're contrails, not CHEM trails. You know, there's certain algorithms that'll trip off with just one word, guys, and then they'll put this here, like I think I saw it under this video right here. Yeah, look at this. This is called an information shelf. They even put it under this NBC video right here to correct you and get to you first. Like it'll come from the Encyclopedia Britannica or from Wikipedia, and they'll tell you exactly, they'll get you on the right path in regard to this subject that the algo's tripped off, and they'll slide that under your video so they can run some covert informational operations under there. Make sure that the public's getting the right information. A-OK, we got you. You're set for it. Okay, clear for takeoff.
Short but important video was captured over Nashville, Tennessee on December 20th, 2019. The 3 jet aircraft visible in this film footage are C-17 Globemasters. The only entities that possess these aircraft, C-17s, are military. What you see occurring in this video are U.S. military cargo tanker aircraft dispersing materials into the atmosphere. We're officially told by government agencies and by the entire science.
And I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but hold on to your hats, guys. You ain't seen nothing yet. I got some stuff coming up here. I got some tabs we're going to run through. It's just mind-blowing what these people can actually do. And we're not even going to scratch the surface here.
Community that climate engineering operations are only a proposal. We are told that if climate engineering, geoengineering, solar radiation management programs were to be deployed as a last-ditch measure against the unfolding climate collapse, that it would be done with jet aircraft that would spray tens of millions of tons of reflective, toxic, heavy metal, and polymer particulates into the atmosphere.
And guys, they've already made it clear they want to do this. There was that Harvard study that testified to the fact that they want to do this, funded by none other than people like Bill and Melinda Gates,
Annually.
the Rockefeller Foundation, World Economic Forum. They want to do the global reset. And could it be that this is one link, this is one step toward the global reset in this weather modification? Could it be? That's all I'm doing is asking a question. That's it.
We're told this atmospheric spraying, if it were to be deployed, would look exactly like what we are already seeing in our skies. Yet, what we are seeing, we are not really seeing. How long has the U.S. government been experimenting with and developing methods to spray particulates into the skies? For nearly 100 years, as this patent for artificial cloud creation from the 1920s reveals, and as the nearly 100-year-old biplane spraying demonstration makes clear. Even now, as our skies are so often crisscrossed with lingering, expanding emissions from jet aircraft geoengineering dispersions.
So I got more stuff here, more. Hold on to your hats. We already talked about the global cooling. Listen to this weatherman explain CHEM trails.
And can we talk just for a second? Let's take a look at this. This is what happens when you have a lot of moisture upstairs. The jet planes that are traveling in the sky are up somewhere, used to be between 28 and 38,000 feet, up where air temperatures are anywhere from 40 to 80 degrees below zero. As a jet plane travels, it's burning Jet A fuel, that's basically kerosene, and the byproducts are carbon dioxide, which you can't see, and water vapor, which condenses out in that super cold air. And I mean, like I said, anywhere from 40 to 80 below zero. So it instantly condenses out into ice crystal flights across 80,000 flights across the United States every day. And every time this happens, I will get people calling, writing, emailing, saying these are chemtrails, the government is poisoning us. And I tried to tell them Look, see the high clouds? That's why they don't disappear, because the atmosphere up there is saturated, so this stuff gets out and doesn't evaporate. It just kind of gradually spreads out.
See, I don't know why they added this kind of stuff right here. I guess to be funny. To me, that's not funny at all. Matter of fact, man, I can't, forgive me for not remembering your screen name, but from Broken Arrow the other day, there was they had a really good, crisp, clear video imagery of a plane who is turning it off, turning it on, turning it off, turning it on. Are we to assume that he's just hitting cold, hot pockets? No, man, no. There's a greater explanation for all that than this. Let's see. I think I'm done with the weather modification. We're done with that. But I mean, leave your thoughts about this. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, you know what they want you to believe on this. They want you to believe it's a CON trail, not a CHEM trail. But what do you think? See, the thing that when I first heard about this, I was thinking, okay, why would the elites, if this is poisoning the atmosphere, why would the elites want to poison the air that even they and their children are going to breathe? Why would they want to, reflect the sun's rays back? Because what happens is, I think I have another. I thought I had another. I know I do. I got another even better one somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, I gotta find it too, guys. Like honeybees are dying. Let me see if I can find it here with Bearded Heretic. This is one of them. This is interesting. There's another weatherman who actually admits that they have technology. Here it is. They have the technology to turn off the radar that allows them to detect man-made disturbances in the atmosphere. Check this out. This is fascinating. This is fascinating. You can believe what you want to believe about this stuff, but it's pretty clear that there are weather modification companies out there who specialize in this kind of stuff and even trade derivatives based on it and even sell insurance to farmers on this. Hey, you want to protect that crop? Then, pay your insurance and we're going to make sure that no thunderstorms roll over you and damage and destroy your crops, like what happened with that quote-unquote derecho just a couple weeks back. Listen to what this guy says. This is I've never seen this footage right here before. This is pretty disturbing. We already knew it was around, but when you hear it confirmed on television, it just kind of puts another kind of a spooky twist to it.
Right now outside, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, so we have the clouds out there, but not the rain. Well, if you're looking at the radar picture, you're probably saying, well, we have some blue on the radar here. What's that all about if it's not raining out there? Well, believe it or not, this is actually not rain. This is called chaff. This is something that the military actually let out of their aircraft.
This is not rain. This is chaff. This is something that the military let out of their aircraft. Guys, look how massive this cloud of chaff is.
A couple hours ago, it can be plastic, it can be aluminum, and basically it's something that they emit from the aircraft in order to confuse radar, and it's used in times of war, obviously, but obviously just an experiment here over the...
It's used in times of war, obviously. Yeah, guys, there is a war going on here. A lot of people would call it weather ... warfare.
The Fort Myers area as they release some of those
look at that
chaff materials.
Look how big that is.
In the bigger picture, you can see...
This is the state of Florida right here. Look how massive this cloud of quote-unquote chaff, plastics or metals or something that they release in times of war.
Where we have the blues right here again. None of this is rain. This is all...
And guys, look at all the chaff out here in the ocean, heading in the Gulf, heading for Florida also, from the west side, heading eastwardly. Check that out.
Man-made material. And actually, I want to show you what that looks like when it is released from an aircraft. You see these flares that go out and the smoke that goes with them. Again, these are little flares go out, little heat signatures, or perhaps aluminum that's released from these aircraft in order to confuse any enemy military aircraft from being able to actually use any heat-seeking weapons to find the aircraft. So kind of an interesting thing out there.
Yeah, it's just kind of an interesting thing. They do this in times of war, but they're doing it for no freaking particular reason. I mean, it's not because there's any enemy aircraft, but there are enemies on the ground that need to eat. need to see the sun for some vitamin C, but we're just going to throw all this crap out in the atmosphere that's going to find its way sooner or later down onto the earth. Plastics, metals, it doesn't matter. That's no big deal. But listen to what he says here.
No known harm to any humans, but nonetheless, just wanted to show you that on the radar picture. And if nothing else, it's actually a great thing that the military has that as an option.
Watch this.
Now look at the radar picture. We have technology that can erase all of that man-made material and show you only the rain. So
we have technology that can erase all that man-made material and just show you the rain. So they have technology that they can turn on and say, hey, there's military activity in our area again for the 4th time this week, but they turn it off. They can turn it on. So you're going to tell me that the military just happened to just drop it on this day and this guy just so happened to see it today and then he let you see it? Guys, they have technology we have no idea. We have no earthly idea what kind of technology they have, not only in deploying this material into the atmosphere, but also detecting it, and they choose not to show us. Obviously, if you saw the chaff before, now they have technology to erase that man-made material so that you can see the natural phenomenon. And now I question whether that natural phenomenon is even natural phenomenon. And again, I'm just questioning, no assertions here, but something sure is fishy in Denmark.
It is raining right there in the eastern Gulf. We have a lot more rain up to our northwest as well. You can see the showers and storms moving through the panhandle, and these are slowly but surely heading our direction.
Yeah, that's just craziness, man. That's crazyville right there. So they have technology to detect it, but they don't turn on the technology for the regular viewing masses. What's going on with our world? Trump said, check out what Trump said today, and you tell me what you think he meant. Before I leave this, though, what do you guys think about this weather phenomenon? What do you think about the fact that they admit that they have technology to be able to detect certain things, but they can turn it off? I really want to know. I want to leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comment section below. Because the way I view it, look, let me just go back here. Look at these massive, look how big Florida, you know how big Florida is. Look at this massive blue line of quote unquote chaff due to military activity, this guy says. Amazing they even let this get out. Look at how big this strand of blue is. What was it? Plastics and metal and all this. Just kind of, oh yeah, we're going to have to breathe that. That's going to settle on our dogs, our cats, our pets, our babies.